Alright, what's up everyone, and welcome to my tutorial on how to retexture or recolor Pokemon and other models in Pokemon Sword and Shield. And this guide is actually going based off of the guide by Ryusei and for Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. It's not the best guide in the world, honestly, but it was the foundation of how this one works, and pretty much most of the necessary files came from here. So I will just continue on. Now, first thing you're gonna need is Python. You're gonna want to install the latest version of Python, and once you have that installed, you can do one of two things. You're gonna need your ROM-FS, and you can get that in one of two different ways. You can either use Hactool or Yuzu, and I will show you how to do both ways for that. So just go ahead and download Hactool. Hactool's main. You probably will want to go ahead and come here and grab the master folder as well, but the Hactool page is going to be under releases, and you're just going to want to come down here, go to assets, and just grab the latest asset release for Hactool. And once you have Hactool and Yuzu, go ahead and download the Quickbms. It should be this one right here. Next, you're going to need Switch Toolbox, so just grab the latest Switch Toolbox. And then you're going to need BNTX Injector. So just go ahead and download that one as well, and we can get started. Okay, so for extracting your ROM-FS, you can do it in one of two different ways. So the first way I'm going to show you is with Yuzu. Once you have Yuzu installed, you're going to want to go to wherever you have your app data folder set up at. For me, that's Windows, User, Vanity, and then app data. Go to local, scroll down until you find Yuzu, and then you should have a folder called games. In games, you're going to want to create a folder. Now name that folder the title of the game. So for me, that's Pokemon Sword. And then come here and drop your XCI in games. Now after that, come back to app data and go to roaming. Go to Yuzu, and then you're going to want to create another folder if you do not already have it for keys. And you're going to want to have your keys extracted from your Switch and go ahead and drop and place them in here. Now once you have Yuzu set up, you will see something like this, where you will actually see your Pokemon Sword game in Yuzu that you can go ahead and load. Right click it and then click on Dump ROM-FS. It'll give you this option for select ROM-FS dump mode. Leave it at full and click OK. Now once it is done extracting, you're going to go back to Yuzu in the app data roaming Yuzu and go to dump, and you will see the title of the game in here should be your dump files, but I don't have them right now for that. The next way you're going to do it, Hactool. Go to Hactool, have your XCI in Hactool. Make sure you have your keys. The only keys that you need is going to be keys.dat. If you have your prod keys, just make a copy of prod keys and rename it to keys.dat. Take your Hactool Master folder and drop it in here into Hactool. And then next thing you're gonna do is just take Pokemon Sword.xci and drop it onto full extract xci.bat. Now all these files do not actually come with Hactool, so I will provide that separate. But if you have the older Hactool folder that I provided in my Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee randomizer tutorial, then you will need that Hactool, that updated Hactool.exe, because, and possibly the Masters folder, otherwise it will not work. I don't know what it is, but for some reason it will not work if the Hactool.exe is not updated, or at least I wasn't able to get it to work. You might be able to, but I would recommend going ahead and getting the updated executable. Now I will show you this real quick. You will get these errors like fail to match keys and yada yada. Just ignore that. It will work even if it says it does not have the right keys, as long as you have your updated keys to at least Master Key 8, which should be the 8.0 release of the official firmware, then it will work. That's what I've noticed, but it'll work even if it says it fails to find the keys. As long as you have your updated keys, the updated Hactool, and the Masters, it works. And just leave it running, let it extract everything, and as you can see, it does extract. But anyways, so once you have everything downloaded and installed, ready to go, you have your BNTX Injector, you have your Quickbms, you have your Switch Toolbox. Oh, one more thing, you'll also want to come here and grab the gfpack script. Now I will actually include this bundle folder, but of course I'm not going to provide my own keys, but I will provide pretty much everything you need to go ahead and get started. But I'm going to provide everything linked properly separate from that in case you want to do it yourself and not take the shortcut. But whatever, it's all up to you. Anyways, so the first things first, once you actually have, okay, Windows, be dumb. Once you actually have your once you actually have everything extracted, like I've got everything extracted here, for example, you're gonna go to extracted, and you're gonna find the one that's the largest file size. That's gonna be the one with all your ROMFS, and this is the NCA. You're gonna go to extracted and find the folder of the same name, and that's gonna have your ROMFS. In here, you're gonna go to ROMFS, and we're gonna work on Pokemon. So we're gonna go to ROMFS, bin, archive, Pokemon, and here's gonna be all of our GF packs. Now for this example, since I've already actually done a retexture and uploaded it to Game Banana, I'm gonna use Gyarados, and and this is another little nifty, I guess you could say, guide on how the files work in the ROMFS. And this one is actually provided by Miguel92398. He goes into a really good explanation of how this works. So I'm just gonna quickly go over this with you. Alright, so for example, we have PM, that's going to be Pokemon. The X's here, these first string of numbers, that's going to be the Pokemon number. The Y string is going to be form variants. That's going to be gender variants, regional variants, alternate forms, Gigantamaxes. So here, for example, he lists Pokemon 3, which is going to be Venusaur. 00 being version form 00 is male, 01 is female. And he also goes into example of different forms. So 52 is going to be Meowth. So we have male Meowth, well, normal Meowth, which doesn't have a alternate form for male female. So if it's just simply 00, then that's male female together. But 31 is going to be Galarian form, 61 Alolan form, 81 Gigantamax Meowth. So, and then any other numbers is going to be different alternate forms. Anyways, so he also goes to express that how the number system for the GF packs work. So, and that's going to be the index or the dex number for the Pokemon. It's not all in order. Gens 1 through 5 are in dex order, but Gens 6, 7, and 8 are not. So his assumption and that's what I've personally noticed, and some others I've been working with on texture packs with, have noticed as well, is going to be 700s are Kalos, 800s are Alola form or Alolan Pokemon from Gen 8. 900s are going to be the Galarian Pokemon. You'll just have to sort through them and see which ones they are. There's no easy way to do it. It's just you have to open each GF pack up and see which one is which. Though he does say he's working on a list that actually tells you exactly which ones they all are, to make it a little bit easier on everybody looking for the specific files. He also goes into some detail on trainer stuff and playable characters and trainer models. So in ROMFS bin archive character data, you have objects, PC, TR, TRM, that's objects, playable character, trainer models. Objects are going to be things not like your trainer, that's like your bicycles and Pokeballs and such like that if you want to edit your Pokeballs. Player characters, this is going to be things based on your player character. P1 is male, P2 is female, depending on which one you pick, whether male or female, and what in their specific line of elements to that character, such as bag, skeleton, pants, eyebrow, eyewear, etc. And then trainer models. Now, and this is just going to be like detail on which what's what with trainer numbers and gym leaders, miscellaneous details, and that's pretty much it. Like he says, pretty good. I would give it a read through if I were you. I will also link this down below. It's pretty helpful if you don't know exactly what you're looking for and just want a quick idea of what to look for. Anyways, back to the tutorial. Once you have your GF pack, I would go ahead and just copy it and drop it into your Quickbms folder, and take that Pokemon GFLX, the pack.bms file I talked about earlier, getting it from here, the script. Go ahead and drop that down into your Quickbms, because that's going to be your script. I did already have one extracted. I will get to that momentarily. Alright, so once you have your GF pack in here and everything is ready to go, open up Quickbms BXE. It's going to ask you for a BMS script. That's going to be your Pokemon script. And then it's going to ask you for input file or archive file, type star for the whole folder and subfolders, we're just going to go ahead and type star, and this will look for pretty much all the GF packs in this folder. And then it's going to say select your output folder. We're not worried about that, so enter in the output folder and press save. We're just going to press save, and you see it does pull through everything. And now we have 130.00 extracted, and it looks like this, and you're going to get all these different files in here: cl5, .dats, .bns, .bnts. What we're worried about is actually going to be the BNT file. So if you just sort that out and just do a little search and grab all your BNTs. Now, to work with these, to get the files that you want to work with, to edit, you're gonna want to take these BNTs and rename them to BNTX, and just, it might give you a little warning that it might not work, but it's okay, don't worry about that. And then just do that for all of them until all your BNTs are converted to BNTX. And for the sake of it, I have already done that here in female Gyarados. Once you have everything converted to BNTX, go back to Switch Toolbox, open up the executable for Switch Toolbox, hit File, Open. Go to where you have all those BNTX files, and go ahead and just highlight all of them and hit Open. Now you can actually just open the GF pack this way, but you literally get all the files, and it makes it a little bit harder to find exactly what you want instead of being more compressed like this. And plus, you don't readily see all the names like this, or at least I haven't noticed. Now, there's supposed to be a way you can actually see the models with Switch Toolbox. I haven't been able to get that to work, but I know others have. Maybe you can if you figure it out or try, but oh well. In the meantime, you're going to want to... Now, what you want is you're going to be looking for the textures of all the Pokemon. So if we just open this up and hide that. So, okay, that's not what I want. That's going to be like an ambience. I'm going to open this up a little more so I can actually see the name. Now, what I have noticed is you want the body colors, or body COLs, the eye colors, and so you know, if it says rare, that means it's the shiny version. So like body A color, eye color rare. The iris is also one that you're gonna want. Now, not all Pokemon are gonna have the same file structures and they're all pretty much gonna have the same file structure, but they're not all gonna have like the same file names. So this Pokemon might have an iris and an eye color, but another Pokemon may not. And even though iris doesn't say color, but you can see this is one that you will want. But so now you're probably wondering, okay, well, what am I going to do with this? Well, you're going to click on the main thing and export textures. It's going to ask you for a folder. We're just going to use the main folder that the BNTXs are in. We're going to select that folder. It's going to ask us for a texture form. Drop down the menu and click PNG. Now, you have to use DDS, but for some reason, like I use GIMP, and for some reason DDS doesn't work, and that's probably because it uses a newer form of DDS, and GIMP doesn't support the newer formats of DDS. But anyways, so just .png. Makes it simple. Once you have everything that you need extracted, you can close it out. And then when you go back and look, you will see at the bottom everything would be extracted. Now, what you're gonna do is, like, I use GIMP, and because I use GIMP, it's free. It's pretty easy to use once you get the hang of it. I've also included the Dds Master File for support for most cases of DDS formats. Not the newest forms, but most cases. And that's usable enough. But anyway, so what you're going to want to do is just go back in here, and you're going to want to open it with whatever form or whatever software you want to use for editing your PNGs. Like I said, for me, it's GIMP. You might want to use Photoshop. I don't know, but no, here it's pretty simple. You just do a silly little edit. Just do a little edit. Tidy it up however you want to do it, you know, just what have you. And when you're done editing your files, you'll hit File, come down to Export As. It's going to give you the name for it in .png. You want to change that to DDS and hit Export. Once you're done, it's going to ask you for a compression. Pull down that window and you're going to see different compression formats. In my experience, the only ones that I've had to deal with personally has been BC3 DXT5 for the most part, and in a few cases BC1 DXT1. For this one, I do know that it happens to use BC3, so I'm gonna just click on BC3 DXT5 format and hit export. And now that I'm done, I'm not worried about saving changes, so I'm just gonna discard because I've already got the change that I want, or at least for this example. Next thing is you're gonna want to go to BNTX Injector, open up BNTX Injector, the executable, and just hit open at the top, and then you're going to want to find where you've got your BNTX files. Now here's where it gets a little bit harder because you have to like search and find for the files that you want. So we're just going to open the first one. It's dummy coal. I'm not worried about that one. It's not anything directly usable that I've been able to figure out, but whatever. Open up the next one. Oh, and you can also see this is in BC7 format. BC7 is going to be that newer format that I was talking about. But that's the ambient. Now we're going to go to 2F, body color A. Now here's one that we did edit. It's in BC7 sRGB format. That really doesn't matter for me right now because what I'm going to do is replace it anyways with something that is usable. Now each file has a file size for their compression format. Even if you can't meet that format properly, and you use BC3 or BC1 depending on which one you need, is going to go based off of the file size. The file size cannot be greater than the original. It has to be equal to or less than. So for me, like, I've already got everything edited here separately for my retexture of Gyarados that I did upload to Game Banana. So for me, I've got body A color. and that's going to be right here, body A color, and this is in, and all these are in BC3 format. So I'm just gonna leave all these options as they are, as they pop up, and hit OK after I've selected it. And there you go. Now it is injected and it automatically saves, so then you can just go, then you can actually just go back to the next one. This was 2F, now 3A, eye color rare. Replace, and then I can actually just go to the one that I did, and there you go. And you just do that for each one as you find them. And once you are done, you can just close it out now that you've got everything all your BNTX injected. And then the next thing you're gonna want to do is to take all your BNTX and switch them back to BNT. Do not leave any of them as BNT. Just rename them back to BN. Well, don't leave them as BNTX. Rename them back to BNT. Now, anything that you're gonna put back in your GF pack when you repack it needs to be in the exact way that it was to begin with. So rename them, like I said, rename them back to BNTX. Now what I did is I kept all of my edited files that I did, and I just created a new folder and renamed it to the folder, to the main folder that it is. So this would be PM13000, well, _00, and I just copied that and created a new folder and pasted in the name, and then just took all these files and just dropped it in there. That way I can keep these separate from these, because you will want them separate. You don't want anything else with these files. And now we can actually go back to Quickbms for the next part. Now you've already done Quickbms to extract the files. Now you want to import the files or re-import the files. So run reimport.bat. It's going to ask you for your BMS script again. That's going to be Pokemon script. And now it's going to ask you for an input archive. Do not hit the star for this one. You're going to want to find your GF pack and open that, and it's going to ask you for an output folder. Now this is going to be where it looks for the output folder. I say output, but this is actually the input folder per se. This is going to be looking for all of these files that you want to re-import. So you want to take the folder that's got all of your files that you originally extracted, and now you want to re-import them. So take those files, use this folder, and save. And now it's 69 files re-imported in 1 second. And close the window. And now you've imported everything back into GFpack. And now the next thing that you can do is take your GF pack and put it on your SD card. Now for this, I'm actually going to switch my window over here real quick. Quickly switch my HDMI port to get ready for the switch. But once you're ready, I've got everything actually, well, whenever that decider wants to open. I got everything here, so you want to set this up in the exact same format as it is in the extracted files of your ROM-FS. So that's going to be your your game title, ROM-FS, bin, archive, Pokemon in this example, and then your GF pack. And then you're gonna take all this. So we're just gonna copy this. And we're gonna go to the SD card. So that's atmosphere, titles. And we're gonna just paste that in, replace the files, and you're done. Now this file, or this example, is for Pokemon Sword. Of course it works for for Pokemon Shield as well, same exact way, just using that title for Pokemon Shield. Now once you were done, just take out your SD and put it back into your Switch. And then you're going to want to, however you do it, open up Tiger Arceum. If you're using an Android phone and you have a way to do like the to connect your Switch to your phone and use Ricardo to inject the payload, then go ahead and do that. However you do it, it's entirely up to you. Just make sure that you do go ahead and inject your payload and load into whichever format of homebrew that you use. In my case, I use Atmosphere, so I'm loading in Atmosphere. I'm just waiting for it to pull up. There we go. Yes, I know. But now we can load the game. Alright, let's do it. Alright, so I've already got a Gyarados in my party here, and this is the shiny female Gyarados. I don't have a shiny male, or haven't for some reason seen a shiny male or registered one in my Pokedex, but I can show you female in both versions. So, and this is what the injected or layered FS of actually having used the edited GF pack for Gyarados for the retexture. Doesn't it just look good? Alright, but I will actually leave a link to my Game Banana upload of my Gyarados pack if you want to use it and test it out for yourself. And hope you enjoyed this. I will have everything linked down below. Drop a like, subscribe if you feel inclined to, and if you for some reason just really don't like my guide, just go ahead and dislike it, or just otherwise tell me. Leave your comments and questions down below, and have a good day.